3, I want to talk about using our calculator. You cannot use your calculator on a lot of these. So does anyone in here have their own calculator? Okay, hold up your calculator that you have.
Mine, no, I was gonna keep bringing mine and I just, I do stats and just.
My pen, no.
You gotta get that group selfie.
No.
Alright, you guys are all good. So, if you use the calculator on like the sine of 60 degrees, that's one we have memorized. It's going to give you a decimal. And I'm always going to tell you, you have to give me the exact value. An exact value involves the radical. So you could use your calculator to double check yourself if you type, if you think, oh, I think the sine of 60 degrees is, what is the sine of 60, guys? Radical 3 over 2. You could certainly plug in the square root of 3 over 2 on your calculator, get a decimal. Plug in sine of 60 and get a decimal, make sure they're the same. But I'm expecting that radical 3 over 2. Okay, so if you give me a decimal on one of those, I'm just going to count it wrong. And I won't even feel bad about it. Because I want you guys to know those, I want the exact value. However, we have only learned a handful of exact values, right? 30, 45, 60, 90, and all their reference angles. So for the rest of them, we're not going to sit and memorize 1,000 different trig values. We're going to rely on our calculator for those. However, there are some things that we need to be aware of. First of all, your calculator has 2 different modes. So, if I pull that up. Okay, if you hit your mode button, it has the 4th line down, radian or degree. Right now, we don't even know what a radian is, and we won't until chapter 3. So our calculator has to be in degree mode. If you are in the wrong mode, you will get the wrong answer for every single question.
So we just type it in the
So,
wrong, we just capital.
We are going to switch it over into degree, hit enter, and then you can second, quit, and get out of that. Now, if you are using my calculators, I would double check that every single time you pick up a calculator because it can get switched back very easily. Anytime the memory gets reset or somebody in another class is using it and they need it in radian mode, it will get changed. So never assume you are in degree mode, double check every time. Second thing I want to warn you, we have sine, cosine, and tangent buttons. Above those it has sine -1, cosine -1, tangent -1. Those do not mean reciprocals. So cosecant, you do not use that sign to the -1 button. You have to type it in as 1 divided by sine. Okay, so those buttons are actually to work backwards and find the angle, not what the trig function is equal to. So let's look at an example. Okay, if I want to approximate the value of each. So the tangent of 68 degrees, 43 minutes.
It's approximately 68 degrees, 43 minutes.
Alright, so we have a few options. You could certainly change degrees and minutes into decimals and type it in from there. There is a way to get to degrees and minutes on your calculator, but it is extremely time consuming. Or we can have the calculator do everything at once. So we can do tangent. And notice as soon as I push tangent, it opens a parenthesis. So I want 68. How would you change 43 minutes into decimal? Okay, so we're going to do plus 43 divided by 60.
Do you need to do double parentheses?
You do not have to. So we typed in tangent 68 plus 43 divided round appropriately, so follow all of our typical rounding rules.
How many floor places?
3 to 4, yeah. Watch the directions when you do them in the book. I think they usually specify what they want.
One time I rounded and you wrote, don't round unless you need to, and I was like, what did
Well,
you do?
don't round to like 1 or 2 decimal
Okay.
places. Keep 3 to 4.
Okay.
All right. B, cosine. 100. 193.622. So we get a negative 0.9719. Okay, is everybody getting these? All right, C, for cosecant, to type this in, you have to do 1 divided by, cosecant is the reciprocal of what?
Science.
So,
1 divided by the sine of 35.8471. And what'd you get?
1.7075.
These don't have any units on them. No degree symbol. The degree is for the angle, not the trig function. Okay, D. We have to be a little bit careful on this one. So secant, first of all, is 1 divided by the cosine. All right. How would you do 23 degrees, 27 minutes?
1 over 20, yeah, never mind, just let me show it.
23.45.
Oh, isn't it negative? Yeah, give me a second to get to that part. How would we do it if I just want to do a positive 23 degrees, 27 minutes?
Divided by 60.
Okay, now, because of the negative, if I only put it here, that makes the degree negative, but isn't this also supposed to be part of it?
We have to put it on the outside.
So you could either add extra parentheses and put it on the outside, or just make both of those negative. Any questions on that one? Everybody got it to work out? Use a calculator to find an angle between 0 degrees and 90 degrees that satisfies each condition. So remember, we did problems like this to end class Friday, but it was like sine of theta equals negative radical 2 over 2. And so I asked you, what quadrants could it be in? What's our referencing? Well, we worked from here. I'm already telling you that it's between 0 and 90, which means we're in what quadrant? The first quadrant. Which is good news for us, because our calculator only gives us the answer in the first quadrant. Later on, we'll have to learn what to do if we want something in a different quadrant.
Perfect.
So now, if I want to know my angle, you cannot divide that cosine over. Okay, so think about like a square root of something. If you want to move that square root, you have to cancel it out, right? The only way to get rid of the cosine is to do the opposite of cosine, or its inverse. That is that -1 button you saw on the calculator. So the only way to move that cosine the other side is to make it cosine inverse. So to type that in, you do second, and then your cosine button. Now this time it is my angle, so this would be degrees. Okay, and it gives us 0.8 and then 9 repeating, so 22.9 degrees. Did you guys get that one?
Wait, would this one be, would cotangent be a while like tangent?
Okay, so we have to think about what to do on the next one. Do we have a cotangent inverse button?
No.
No, so you cannot move this cotangent over yet. What I need to do, I have a tangent button. So I want to rewrite this. Cotangent is the reciprocal of tangent. So this means tangent is 1 over that. And then to move tangent, it would be tangent inverse. So first you have to make it 1 over, and then you do the inverse. So we did 6543 degrees. Any questions on these?
Now we just have to find grade resistance.
So that's really it. Friday I taught 3.2 and I gave you that homework. Sorry, 2.2. So this is the 2.3 homework, and then you have today to work on both of them. Okay, so I would like both sections due tomorrow.
Just turn them together or separately?
We'll turn them in together. So if you want to do it on the same sheet of paper, that's fine.
Oh, that's.
This is the new